Put it in drive.
With less than 2 weeks left in the school year, district leaders in Madison are dealing with another accusation of a teacher using a racial slur in front of students.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Thursday, May 30th, and we're doing the happy dance. We got more sunshine on the way. Like, yesterday was great, and today's going to be great. Tomorrow's going to be even better.
3 days?
What the heck?
Yeah, you know what? We have clearing trend today and warmer temperatures in the forecast, and we continue that warming trend right into Friday. Oh, hey, just a second ago, only one polar bear was taken to swim, but they're both in the pool this morning.
Perfect weather for it.
Just for a second. The other one's going, yeah, a great start to the day. It's actually a little bit warmer outside this morning than we have been the last couple of mornings. Quite a bit of rain moving across southern Wisconsin overnight, especially south of Madison, but that rain is falling apart pretty quickly this morning. Take a look at your temperatures. We are climbing from the low 60s back into the mid 70s. Now, if you thought it felt just a smidge humid yesterday, northwesterly winds will dry it out today with highs around 74 degrees. Here's a look at those traffic maps early this morning. No major issues right now, just a few brake lights starting to show up on the belt line right around Stoughton Road. Otherwise, I looked around the area, no accidents to report right now, so you're still going at posted speeds heading into Madison.
It's amazing when that humidity returns, how much, like yesterday I was out for like a walk and a bike ride and I was like, oh wow, it's
a little bit sticky.
It's a little steamy.
He was at the pool yesterday.
Finally.
Wow.
Yeah.
72 degrees. Josh is at the pool.
Hey, you got to take advantage of all that sunshine you can.
Midwestern
Where's
blood
our
there.
invite?
I know, come on.
Come on over. You know where I'm at. See you. Thanks, Addie.
You're welcome.
We start this half hour with breaking news overnight as the streak of days with a tornado touching down in the U.S. reaches 2 full weeks. The latest touchdown in Iowa overnight. This is video of the damage in Deep River between Des Moines and Iowa City. One person was hurt and several acres of farmland were damaged. Further south, more tornadoes were confirmed in Texas, and flooding concerns there continue to grow as well.
New this morning, another Madison teacher is being accused of using a racial slur in front of students. The State Journal reports an email went out to parents Wednesday afternoon about the alleged incident at Spring Harbor Middle School on the city's west side. The principal told parents the teacher was removed from the classroom as soon as the incident was reported. This is just the latest in several reported incidents of teachers using racial slurs in this year. Earlier in the year, Superintendent Jennifer Cheatham called the use of slurs, quote, unacceptable regardless of context.
The Madison School District also making some changes to their safety plan for the next school year. The district says all of its classrooms will have electronic locks by August. Those doors will automatically lock once they're closed. Staff will use their ID badges to unlock them. Also in that new safety plan, teachers will start including training for emergency situations in their lesson plans. Parents will have access to all of those materials ahead of time so they can discuss safety at home with their students.
Developing right now, we're hoping to learn more about what caused the crash between a semi-truck and a tractor where both drivers had to be med-flighted from the scene. It happened on Highway 151 near Platteville around 5 last night. First responders shut down the highway for several hours. Officials at the scene said a tractor was driving along the northbound side and pulled in front of a semi, which was also on that road. A witness at the scene said both drivers were conscious after that crash, but it took emergency crews 5 to 10 minutes to arrive. We're still waiting for an update on the driver's conditions, but that road is clear this morning.
And an update to a crash involving a school bus down in Greene County this week. Monroe police now count 11 students who were hurt when a van collided with that bus on Tuesday. They range in age from 5 to 15 years old, and their injuries were all pretty minor. Earlier, officials reported 3 students were taken to the hospital. 55-year-old Monaco Garcia Mendez, who was driving the van, got a ticket for having no valid driver's license and failing to yield the right-of-way. He had made a left turn into the path of the bus.
6:04 right now. The founders of a Rastafarian church in downtown Madison are in custody this morning. This comes after police executed a search warrant at the building on West Mifflin Street. Officials arrested 39-year-old Jesse Schwarek and 23-year-old Dylan Bangert on tentative charges, including marijuana delivery and maintaining a drug dwelling. Just before 9 Wednesday morning, Madison Police and the Dane County Narcotics Task Force searched the line of Judah House of Rastafari. This following a cease and desist letter from the city alleging there's no evidence that their activity is religiously affiliated. Schwark and Bangert say marijuana is part of their religious practice and that the First Amendment and Religious Freedom Restoration Act protects them from being legally punished for using marijuana.
After a winter full of seemingly endless snow and ice, the Madison Streets Division is now looking at a projected $600,000 deficit. Every year, the city looks at average snow and ice events and decides how many to budget for. This year, though, the averages were of little help. And if you lived through this winter in Madison, you may have already guessed that. The budget was built to withstand 5.5 snow events of right around 3 inches. Instead, we got 8. That's putting the Streets Division more than $500,000 over their snow and ice budget so far this year. The Finance Department said the city does have contingent reserves to help make up the difference and says it could even out if we see another mild start to the next winter.
Later today, the Madison Reading Project will be launching its Big Red Reading Bus. It's a nonprofit organization aiming to promote literacy among underserved children. With the Big Red Reading Bus, they'll be able to take that mission on the road. The bus will transport books and materials to events and schools in need across Dane County, providing kids with a wide variety of free books. The bus's launch party is happening tonight at 5 in the Madison Masonic Center on Wisconsin Avenue. You can also just drop the books off to donate.
All right, 6:06 your time now. From superhero sequels to live-action remakes, the theater will be packed this summer with options for your family.
But with the price of movie tickets nearly doubling in the past 20 years, many families wonder how they'll be able to afford a trip to the theater. So we sent our Christina Laurie to Marcus Point Cinema on the west side this morning to find out how we can save some money. Hi, Christina.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. So from larger-than-life screens to reclining seats like this, I have quite the assignment this morning. But ticket prices over the past few years, you probably noticed, have really skyrocketed at theaters, but you get a lot more for your money. Joining us this morning again from Marcus Point is Jake Johnson. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was reading, according to a website, Statista, that average ticket prices increased from $5 in 2001 to $9 last year. This theater costs you even more, but you get a whole lot for it. What's the benefit of seeing a theater?
We're in our largest screen here. It's the Ultra Screen Theater that we have. It's Theater 16 if you guys are looking to buy your tickets online. It's a 3-story tall screen. It's got a Dolby multi-dimensional immersive sound, so you can literally, as Dolby says, feel the picture. And it's very loud. It's a great way to see the film. And most of our big blockbusters are going to be in here all summer long.
So what are the best blockbusters if you only have a certain number of films that you are willing to shell out this money for? What should you see here?
Absolutely. I mean, so Godzilla King of Monsters comes out tonight, and absolutely you should see that in here. A big monster movie on a big screen. It's what it's built for. And then Toy Story 4 coming out in a couple weeks, and Lion King. All the music and the great images from there will be amazing to see on this screen and with this sound.
But the real secret is coming here on Tuesdays.
Yeah, so Tuesday's a great day. So Tuesday's our $5 value day. And this theater itself is also $5 on that day. It's a savings of $10 off a general ticket price. So if you're coming on Tuesday, buy your tickets in advance and come to this theater on a Tuesday because it's the best value possible in the theater.
And you'll be paying the same price as you were back in 2001. That's crazy that people can get that nowadays.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
And so we're going to keep Jake again here with us. In about 30 minutes, we're going to break down the list of the 10 films you should see this summer, the most anticipated blockbusters. So get out your calendars, Josh and Leah, and I'll check back in with you.
First off, that screen is humongous. Secondly,
Ridiculous.
Christina, I can't believe you don't have that bag of popcorn in your lap already this morning.
I wasn't offered any yet, okay?
You best get on that.
All right, Christina Laurie taking a load off this morning. Thank you, Christina.
All right, 6:09 is your time right now. An event tonight is sharing some powerful stories of survival. Coming up, we're talking to one man who's beaten cancer and is now running triathlons. How he says you can help others fighting cancer.
Plus, it's a pretty warm start to your Thursday morning, and that nice weather, it's going to continue for the rest of the day. Hattie has a forecast I think we can all get behind. That's coming up on News 3 Now this morning.
adversity.
Good morning from the patio. Outside this morning, still a little damp, but no rain falling. And good news, we're going to dry out through the day today. It was quite wet overnight across parts of southern Wisconsin, especially right along the state line, where over an inch is estimated on the radar map just over the last 24 hours. Not a whole lot of rain here in Madison. We were sort of in between two little storm systems pushing through the area. But this morning, that activity has diminished rather quickly. Just over the last couple of hours, we're seeing the rain really move out of the state. There is an outside chance for a shower or an isolated rumble of thunder today with the storm system still staying close to us, but most areas are going to be dry for the rest of the day. Here's a look at your rain chances here in Madison. Again, high this morning, but then really dropping down to mainly dry conditions for the afternoon and evening. Here's a look at the WISC-TV Skycam shot. Hoping to see a little bit of sunshine this morning, but still dealing with the clouds from that rain. Even though the rain has fallen apart, clouds still linger for most of the region. Our temperatures are quite mild, though. As you step out the door, you might be a little surprised. 62 here in Madison right now. It's actually up a degree in the Dells to 60, 61 in Boscobel, 59 in Prairie du Chien, and 59 as well in Janesville. Now, if you were thinking that it felt a little humid yesterday, you were right. Dew points did creep into the low 60s for a time during the afternoon. This morning, dew points are in the mid to upper 50s, but if we look at the trend through the day, it is a downward trend, back into the low 50s later on this afternoon. So it's not going to feel terribly humid today. Actually pretty comfortable. Now, your future track forecast model is still hanging on to a little bit of moisture through the morning hours. Again, there's an outside chance for a shower, but most areas drying out and actually turning partly sunny for the afternoon. High temperatures will climb into the mid-70s across southern Wisconsin. Staying pretty nice through the evening with the best chances for rain south of the state line. Our forecast then overnight is pretty quiet. Any additional rain is going to be very light as we head through the rest of the day today. Here's a look at your extended forecast. We have a high of 74 this afternoon. We bump it up 10 degrees tomorrow to highs in the mid-80s. Next best chance for rain comes late Friday night into Saturday morning. But overall, it looks like that system will be a pretty fast-moving system, so most of the weekend looking nice. Clearing up for Saturday afternoon with highs in the low 70s. Lots of sun on Sunday with highs right around 70 once again. Let's get a look at those First Alert traffic maps this morning with Josh Tim. Good morning, Josh.
Morning, guys. Well, it's another typical start to the day. So far, it's moving well on the Beltline. No major delays showing up yet in either direction. Other roads here in Zane County, not looking too bad. A few brake lights on Stoughton Road and the northbound side of Verona Road approaching the Beltline ramps. Nothing to slow you down around campus. Volume will continue to pick up over the next hour or so. And other main routes coming into the city, they're still moving at the posted speeds with no crashes or delays. Your First Alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thanks, Josh, and thank you, Hattie. It is 6:15 right now. So cancer is something that touches a lot of people, and that's part of what makes stories of survival so inspirational.
Ed Pirrick beat prostate cancer 15 years ago. Now he's sharing his story with others to highlight the importance of cancer research. He's joining us this morning to talk more about that story. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story, because it is an incredible one.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm humbled and honored to not only be here, but tonight to be able to talk to an audience about my journey from adversity to achievement.
Yeah, this really started with adversity. Tell us some of the things that you went through to get to where you are today.
Okay. Well, in a fairly short period of time, 4 things happened to me that had me just about down for the 10 count. And the first one was my wife's brother. My brother-in-law was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and just a few months later died and left a grieving wife and 3 small kids, as well as a grieving family.
Wow.
Just a couple months after that, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And of course, when I heard that, I thought I was down for the 10 count, but luckily mine was not as far advanced. I had great care at the UW, and am a survivor. About a year later, we had a tragic event at our house. We had a house fire that totally destroyed our house and all our belongings. And then the 4th event was I had a bad bike accident, broke my collarbone, had to have surgery, and put myself, with all those together, put me in a pretty dark place where I wasn't the person I was meant to be.
But you really turned that around and overcame so many challenges.
Yes, maybe I got to the ninth count of the 10, but I got up and started going to a gym and working out a little bit, figuring that would help me, and that's where I met an elite coach, triathlon coach, who I still work with to this day, and started to do triathlons and progressed to the point where I decided that I wanted to do Ironman, and at that point in time I was contacted by the UW Foundation, and they asked me if I could tell my story to use it as a fundraiser, a la maybe a Steve Stricker or Andy North, but on a much smaller scale. So I completed Ironman Wisconsin. I raised over $10,000 and was very proud of not only my accomplishment, but of being able to give back and doing something for others.
So what made you feel comfortable talking about it? What was it that kind of got you over that hump and wanting to be an inspiration to others?
It was a lot of encouragement from the director of development at the foundation at the time. Obviously, I'm not a public speaker or an Andy North again or a Steve Stricker, but I spoke from my heart, and I realized that what I learned was that we all experience adversity, and we all want to be a better person than who we are, and we can be a better person than who we are right now. And that's what I found, that's what I learned, that maybe rather when things were bad, rather than looking for an exit sign, I found an entrance, and the entrance gave me an opportunity to improve myself, improve my family, and help others.
I love that. Tell us a little bit about this event that you're speaking at tonight.
The Blue Tie Bash is something that I've participated in, and it's a fundraising event. It's a gala event at the Department of Urology, led by Dr. Nakata, and they've asked me to speak tonight, and hopefully my message comes through to a lot of people that they can, when things go bad, that they can improve themselves and help others.
You can see the details right there on your screen. That's happening tonight at 6 at the Concourse Hotel. The tickets are $100, and they are going to benefit research on this very important topic. Ed,
Yes.
we so appreciate you coming and talking to us this morning.
Again, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
And good luck tonight. Thanks,
Yes.
Ed.
All right, thank you.
All right, suicide can be a hard topic to talk about, especially when it comes to kids. We're going to preview the story of one southern Wisconsin dad who lost his son to suicide and how he's working to make sure other families don't have to feel that same kind of pain.
But first, after some rain and storms overnight, Hattie will let us know if the kids are going to need a rain jacket at the bus stop today. She's updating us straight ahead on News 3 Now this morning. Welcome back at 6:23 on a Thursday morning. We've got some sun on the way today, and a plea to all of those parents and kids out there, remember that sunscreen, because last weekend was not good, and
Josh
I'm
is
like
peeling.
peeling like big time today.
You know, you kind of forget it's been kind of a cool spring, that the sun is pretty powerful right now.
It is.
So it's definitely sunscreen season here in southern Wisconsin. Looking outside, not a lot of sun right now, but we will be clearing later on today. So good news, more sunshine later on. If you were headed to the zoo, a lot of zoo field trips this time of the year. Again, pack the sunscreen. Polar bears are out and pretty active already this morning. Not a bad start to the day at all. Temperatures are in the 50s and 60s. Rain is moving on out. There still is a risk for an isolated shower today, but most areas are likely to stay dry. Here's a look at those current temperatures. We've been pretty steady at 62 here in Madison. It's also 62 in Lone Rock, 58 in Platteville. Janesville starts at 59 today. Watertown is 58 as well. Probably don't need much of a jacket as you head through the day today. At the bus stop, it'll be in the low 60s heading to school. More sunshine this afternoon with temperatures getting into the mid 70s. And that's your bus stop forecast.
Thank you so much. It is 6:24 right now. More kids and teens than ever before are going to emergency rooms after thinking about or attempting suicide, and the rate of youth suicides have gone up dramatically in the last 10 to 15 years.
One dad in the Delavan area wants to do something about the stigma he says still exists when it comes to mental health struggles and treatment. Jeff Fuller says his son Cole was a smart, athletic kid who loved the family business of training hunting dogs. He started to struggle over the past few years, but Jeff never thought Cole would take his own life.
I've been warned by many not to take too much on, but no family wants to live with this.
Coming up tonight at 10, we will tell you more about Cole and the lengths his dad is going to make sure parents are talking to their kids. You can hear how sharing his son's story is helping Jeff heal. That's tonight on News 3 Now.
Looks like it's going to be an emotional but very good story that needs to be told about.
An important conversation to have.
And I think we're talking about it, right? And I think that's the first step. All right, 6:25 is your time right now. Still ahead for us, Governor Tony Evers is responding as state lawmakers continue to make changes to his budget proposal.
We'll tell you what he had to say about the plans to fund the UW system. That and more local news is next when News 3 Now This Morning continues. Madison's representative in Congress is renewing his calls to impeach President Trump after Robert Mueller's public comments about his report.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, folks, and thanks for waking up with us on your Thursday, May 30th. You're also waking up to a pretty nice day in store.
Yeah, we've got some sunshine on the way after some overnight showers, some much-needed news, I think, for all of us. Hattie's out on the Hattio patio this morning with all the good news. Hey, Hads.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. Yeah, it's a pretty nice forecast setting up for today. I'm able to see a little bit of clearing to the west here from the station, but take a look what I found on the Platteville sky camera. That's blue sky in Platteville this morning, so skies are already starting to clear out a little bit in the far southwestern corner of the state. Great news, we do expect more sunshine for the afternoon. Still dealing with a little bit of moisture in the region. Take a look, a little lone shower popping up near Camp Douglas just within the last couple of minutes. But generally, we're seeing a weakening trend on that rain as the system responsible for all that moisture continues to track eastward. Our forecast is going to dry out through the day today. We're starting off on quite a mild note this morning, right around 60 degrees, so feeling very comfortable outside early today. A little bit muggy right now, but dew points are expected to fall through the afternoon with drier air working its way into the region. Temperatures will climb to highs in the mid-70s this afternoon with more sunshine for the second part of the day. So far, things have been pretty good on the roads here in Madison. No accidents to report this morning, and that trend continues. It is getting a little busier on Verona Road right now as you approach the eastbound Beltline. Otherwise, a few brake lights showing up on the Beltline right at Stoughton Road. It's pretty typical for this time of the day. No major delays, though, to report right now. And that's your first alert traffic.
All right, some good news to start us off on a Thursday morning. We always like that.
That's right. We could say Friday Eve now.
There we go. Hey, it's been a quick
Nice.
week. We like our quick weeks. All right, Hattie, thanks.
You're welcome.
6:31 your time on this Thursday morning. There may be a storm brewing in Washington as special counsel Robert Mueller breaks his silence. Mueller made his first public remarks in more than 2 years yesterday, announcing that his work is done and his office is closing. Mueller also emphasized he had not exonerated President Trump of obstruction of justice. The White House, though, continues to claim the president has been cleared of any wrongdoing. A number of House Democrats, including Representative Mark Pocan from Wisconsin, took Mueller's words to be a call for impeachment proceedings.
Meanwhile, back in Wisconsin, Governor Tony Evers is now responding after his UW funding proposal was slashed by state Republicans.
I'm disappointed with the results. This is just the first step in the budget process, but having that amount of money and also not funding the freeze of tuition is not where we should be.
The Republican Budget Writing Committee voted Tuesday to approve $58 million of the $130 million Governor Evers requested for the UW system, and $45 million of that will have to be approved later. Republican lawmakers argue the state has provided sufficient funding for the UW system, including an increase in funding in last year's budget. UW System President Ray Cross called the plan a kick in the shins.
Also at the state capitol today, lawmakers are talking about how to make sure your students' classmates are getting enough to eat at school, even if their lunch accounts are in the red. A bill on that issue would require schools to provide food to students without shaming them in any way for not being able to pay for it. That includes requiring them to do extra work or publicly identifying those students. There are stories across the country of students being barred from graduation or schools even stamping their arms with the words, "I need lunch money." The Committee on Education is taking up that proposal later this morning. And as the school year ends, parents are always looking for ways to fill their calendars and keep their kids entertained without paying an arm and a leg.
Despite what you hear, going to the movies doesn't have to be a budget-busting event. And with the summer's lineup, there is plenty to see. We're super excited about it, along with Christina Laurie, who's live this morning at Marcus Point Cinema on Madison's West Side. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, guys. I got my popcorn, the extra large refillable size. So I have plenty to make it through this summer's biggest blockbusters. Back with us this morning, Jake Johnson. He's going to run through the top 10 biggest blockbusters expected this summer. So what's on that list?
Yeah, so there's another Men in Black movie coming out this summer, Men in Black International, Lion King, Spider-Man Far From Home. We already had Aladdin start, and Toy Story 4 coming out. So those are just some of the huge ones that we've got coming out as well, and it should be a good summer for us overall.
And there's something really, as we were talking about before, for everyone. Is that typical for a summer?
You know, it's great for us in that sense that we love the fact that all the different filmmakers and people out in the studios are trying to find different markets for them. So I don't know if it's typical or not, but we really appreciate the fact that there's something for families, there's something for, you know, teens, for young adults, for, you know, elderly folks. Everything under the sun, everyone has a film that's for them this summer.
And so people might be a little turned away by the price tag of going to the theaters. You see that, you know, a ticket can cost you $11, but it doesn't have to cost that much. How can people save money?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a great Tuesday deal where all our movies are $5. And then on Thursdays we have a Student Thursday, so any students or faculty are able to get a movie for only $6 for them. And then our Young at Heart crowd, so our senior crowd, are able to see a movie for $6 on Fridays until 5 o'clock. So really we try to find value for our guests as much as possible anywhere and any day of the week.
And you also have deals for veterans, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So our veterans get the lowest possible price of $7.25 for a ticket, and that's for any movie at any time.
Great. Thank you so much for spending the morning with us
no
and
problem.
teaching us these money-saving tips. If you want to see any of the films, the top 10 biggest blockbusters, or any other film coming out this summer, we have a full list on our website, channel3000.com. But for now, I have to get back to enjoying this popcorn, Josh and Leah.
All right, that looks like
never too early.
Too big of a bucket, though. We better get some of that.
Yeah, bring it back.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, Mark is
Mark
even
wants
diving in.
He just fisted that.
Oh my gosh.
Bring it on back with that snack for us. Christina Laurie reporting this morning. Thank you, Christina.
All right, 6:35 right now, and we have a new video right now of what appears to be the latest case of an ongoing problem in Milwaukee. A city bus driver is being credited with saving a child who was running through traffic yesterday. Video shows Cecilia Nation Gardner jumping out of her bus and helping a 6-year-old get out of the road to safety. Officers later learned the boy has a disability and walked away from his school. Now, this is the 10th lost or missing child Milwaukee County bus drivers have found in recent years.
New this morning, the Mount Horeb community is taking steps to encourage wellness and destigmatize mental health. Yesterday, the Mount Horeb Mental Health and Wellness Coalition hosted a wellness fair at the middle school in town. This comes following several recent youth suicides in that community over the past year. The fair included sessions on nutrition, managing emotions, and a panel of community members who are living with mental illness to talk about their own experiences. Jen Schiffner was a member of that panel. She says events like this are important to show the support that's available in the community.
People used to always whisper the word cancer, and people don't anymore. You know, somebody has cancer, people are like, how can I help? What can I do? And we want to get to that point with mental health issues as well.
Really great message there. Jen says she wants people to know they're not broken and it's not about getting fixed. It's about learning how to live well in spite of any challenges.
Just into the channel3000.com alert center, a silver alert has been issued for a missing man in Milwaukee County. 71-year-old Donnie Moore was last seen at his home on North 106th Street in Milwaukee, but left sometime between 6 and 10:30 last night. He was last seen wearing a red zip-up jacket with a blue liner and a blue and white polo shirt and jeans. Anyone with information is asked to call Milwaukee Police.
All right, gas prices continue to rise across the country, but things aren't looking too bad at the pumps in our area. We'll have the details coming up in the morning sprint.
But first, the crop insurance deadline is tomorrow when farmers are facing a difficult decision. News 3 Now This Morning is back after this.
All right, Josh, you know I'm a sucker for a good countryside scene.
Yes.
Paula's helping me out with this one out of Monticello.
I'm just obsessed with all of that greenery because it took us so long to get it this year.
It did, but it seems to have been popping up all over the place now, finally.
And especially with all the sunshine, I'm feeling more and more things are going to be looking that much better outside.
Hoping we can see more and more My News 3 morning pics like this one. Thanks so much for sharing, Paula.
If you've got a picture like Paula's you'd like to share with us, please do. We want to see it. All you have to do is go to our social media pages and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning, and Lee and I will pick out our favorites and air them right here on the show. 6:41 is your time this morning. Experts say this season is the worst planting season for farmers in 25 years because of all of our wet and cold weather.
Yeah, this time last year, 90% of corn crops were planted in Wisconsin. But right now, we're seeing less than half, and it's getting dangerously late. May 31st is the cutoff deadline for crop insurance. That's tomorrow, folks. By then, farmers need to decide if they're going to take the gamble and plant, or if they're going to take the insurance money and most likely a pay cut.
They're taking a lot lower payment if they don't plant, but if they don't take the payment, they're risking loss of yield and what the growing conditions will be and what the markets are and what yield they might get.
Farmers who did manage to get their crops planted could benefit. Grain futures are up and corn has hit a 12-month high. It's up nearly 40 cents a bushel. Again, that crop insurance deadline is tomorrow. And I know this is affecting farmers all across the Midwest. My uncle up in Minnesota, he's also having a lot of issues. And the problem is even if they get that crop insurance, a lot of these farmers use those crops to feed their cattle.
Exactly.
And that's where another problem is, because now my uncle's having to look elsewhere for that, and that gets expensive.
Boy, they just can't cut a break.
They cannot get a break. So hopefully the sunshine's going to help us out here.
Exactly. Farmers and the rest of us are going to be happy to hear it's looking pretty warm and dry to start out your Thursday. Still, though, Hattie's tracking the potential for storms in her extended forecast, but not a bad start to your day out there. A little cloudy. The sun is going to come out. Hattie has that update for us still ahead.
But first, it is May 30th, and we want to say happy birthday to Jackson and all the other kids turning 3 today. Super cute photo there, Jackson. Thanks for celebrating with us on News 3 Now this morning. Welcome back at 6:46 on a Thursday morning. We were seeing a little bit of clearing earlier. Not looking too clear out there right now, though.
Yeah, don't let it fool you, folks, though. We have a really nice day in store.
We really do. And Hattie, we've been so lucky. Other than the rainfall, it's been pretty quiet here compared to just not too far from here with all that severe weather.
Yeah, we have really lucked out as far as the severe weather is concerned. And don't worry, here's what it looks like in Platteville this morning, guys. Skies are already clearing there. So I do expect a clearing trend to take place here in Madison as well. But that severe weather that has been ongoing for 2 weeks across the central part of the country is going to start to taper off today. But take a look at the severe weather reports just over the last 2 days, the last 48 hours, really missing Wisconsin, but coming close. A lot of tornado reports coming out of northern Iowa from Tuesday. Hail and wind damage reports are pretty widespread for the region. Good news, the Central Plains are going to see a break in the activity. Things are quieting down for the central part of the United States. Here's what it looks like right now. Some showers and thunderstorms moving through lower Michigan. All that rain that pushed through southern Wisconsin overnight is coming to an end. So things are going to quiet down for us today. The severe weather outlook does still indicate a slight risk for severe weather through West Virginia, parts of Pennsylvania today, but note the lack of severe weather threat through the Central Plains. Here's a look at Weather Track, which is satellite and radar combined. So far, this area of low pressure has been a very slow-moving system as it tracks across northern Illinois. We still keep a lot of clouds in the area this morning and an outside chance for a little bit of rain. But that system will eventually move off to the east, so things are going to quiet down for us here in southern Wisconsin. Things very quiet through the central part of the United States. We'll watch this next system dropping out of Canada. By late Friday, it arrives into southern Wisconsin, and as that cold front crosses the region, there will be another chance for a few showers or some thunderstorms. But again, timing on that will likely be late Friday into very early on Saturday. Here's a look at our temperatures this morning. A little cooler to the north. International Falls is 42 degrees, 56 in Des Moines, 65 in St. Louis, 60 in Chicago. It's actually a little bit warmer here in Madison with 62 degrees. There are some spots, though, that are in the 50s this morning. 58 in Juneau, Monroe is at 57, Prairie du Chine's at 58 as well. Here's a look at your dew point trend, though, through the day today. Dew points in the upper 50s this morning, trending lower for the afternoon, so humidity is not going to be an issue. Here's a look at your future track forecast model. A few showers possible this morning, but overall drying out as we head towards the afternoon. There's that isolated shower threat. Partly sunny, though, with high temperatures in the middle 70s. Pretty nice through the evening hours and overnight tonight. Here's a look at that extended forecast. Get ready for a warm day tomorrow. I bumped temperatures into the mid 80s on Friday. Again, another chance for rain late Friday into early Saturday. Then we're in the 70s for the rest of the weekend.
Oh.
Coop and Gus in Baraboo.
Twins.
Pretty cool. It looks like they're sneaking a little treat from the garden.
Ooh. Everyone likes a treat, right?
Very healthy eaters they are.
They're going to have a nice walk this afternoon the way it looks.
I think so. Partly sunny, yeah.
Unless they have to work in the garden.
That's
You
true.
never know.
Thanks, Ads.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. The Morning Sprint is up next on News 3 Now this morning. It's 6:52, time for the morning sprint as our team gets you ready for your Thursday with the most local news.
Lots of news in Madison schools to get to, but we start with the extended stretch of severe weather across the country as the streak of days with a tornado in the U.S. reaches 2 full weeks, the latest touching down in Iowa overnight. This is video of the damage in Deep River, a rural area between Des Moines and Iowa City. Further south, more tornadoes were confirmed in Texas. The National Weather Service reports that there have been 500 reported tornadoes in the last 30 days.
Experts say this season is the worst planting season for farmers in 25 years because of the wet and cold weather. Less than half of corn crops have been planted, and tomorrow is the cutoff deadline for crop insurance. By then, farmers need to decide if they're going to take the gamble and plant or take the insurance money and, most likely, a pay cut.
Persistent wet weather pattern is going to start to change up for southern Wisconsin. The rain is diminishing this morning. A few sprinkles left here and there, but mainly just cloudy skies early today. Look for a clearing trend as you go through your Thursday. Temperatures will be in the mid-70s this afternoon with a light north-northwest wind.
Hattie, thank you. At least 8 people are dead in Budapest and 19 others still missing this morning after a sightseeing boat sank on the Danube River. 35 people were on that boat when it collided with another ship. 33 of those people were from South Korea. 7 tourists and 1 Hungarian crew member died. None of those passengers were wearing life jackets at the time of that crash.
In Washington, the office of the special counsel is closing as Robert Mueller made his first public remarks in more than 2 years yesterday. Mueller emphasized that he had not exonerated President Trump of obstruction of justice. House Democrats, including Representative Mark Pocan of Wisconsin, took Mueller's words to be a call for impeachment proceedings.
This morning, another Madison teacher is being accused of using a racial slur in front of students. The State Journal reports an email went out to parents Wednesday afternoon about the alleged incident at Spring Harbor Middle School. The teacher was removed from the classroom as soon as the incident was reported. Superintendent Jennifer Cheatham has said the use of the slurs, quote, unacceptable regardless of context.
The Madison School District says all of its classrooms will have electronic locks by August. Those doors will lock automatically once they're closed. Staff will use their ID badges to unlock them. Teachers will also start including training for emergency situations in their lesson plans. Parents will have access to them as well, so they can talk about safety with their students at home.
Later this morning, lawmakers will be talking about how to make sure your students' classmates are getting enough to eat at school, even if their lunch accounts are in the red. A bill on the issue would require schools to provide food to students without shaming them in any way for not being able to pay for it. That includes publicly identifying those students.
The 2 founders of the Lion of Judah House of Rastafari are in police custody this morning after officers executed a search warrant at their building on West Mifflin Street yesterday. Charges include marijuana delivery and maintaining a drug dwelling. The founders say marijuana is a part of their religious practice and therefore protected by the First Amendment.
A new study from the DHS says nitrate levels in some of Rock County's private wells could create birth defects and have been linked to certain types of cancers. The main contributors to the nitrate risk are fertilizer use, issues with septic systems, soil properties, and irrigation. Nearly 1 in 3 private wells in Rock County have a concerning amount of nitrates.
Gas prices are up across the country overnight. The national average is right around $2.82 a gallon. Here in Wisconsin, we're looking at an average of $2.81. That's up just slightly from yesterday's price. Even better news around Dane County, though, where the average price at the pump is about 10 cents lower at $2.70.
The price of movie tickets has nearly doubled in the past 20 years, but a trip to the theaters this summer does not have to cost your family an arm and a leg. We're talking about local chains like Marcus Cinemas that are offering several discount options from $5 Tuesdays to $6 tickets for students. You can find a full list of deals on our website, channel3000.com. As for what to see, Marcus asked moviegoers what they're most looking forward to this summer. Topping that list is Spider-Man, followed closely by Toy Story 4 and The Lion King. See you in the popcorn line, Josh and Leah.
You better believe it. Thank you, Christina. 6:57 your time now. Let's turn it over to Josh Tim with a look at your first alert traffic. Hey, Josh.
Morning, guys. The westbound side of the Beltline is beginning to pick up now, but so far no delays to worry about from end to end. Usual brake lights starting to show up on inbound John Nolan near the Rimrock and Olin Avenue intersections moving into the downtown area. Southbound Highway 151 slow going between Columbus and Sun Prairie. That's from ongoing road work. And other main routes coming into the city are moving at the posted speeds with no crashes or delays. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you, Josh.
And it's all about perspective. If I turn the camera to the west, we can see a little blue sky this morning. Here's our forecast. Actually pretty nice. Drying out with temperatures climbing to highs in the mid-70s.
All right, thanks for joining us, everyone. Make it a great day and enjoy that sunshine.